In this tutorial, we're going to take you through the security logs of Better WP Security. You can see here that we're already in the dashboard in WP Better Security's dashboard, and indeed looking at the logs already. So what you can find here are just the logs that Better WP Security generates. So anytime someone tries to log in and can't get in, any file changes, are there any database lockouts, and so on. That's where you find out all this information, assuming that you may not have it emailed to you anyway. But you can always check here for a pretty good overview. So the first thing we can do here is choose to clean the database. So every time there is a bad login request or a file changed and so on, that will actually be stored in the database so that you can be notified accordingly. So what you can do here is, if your database is growing in size and you just want to cut down the amount of data you've got in there, you can just simply check any of these boxes here if you'd like, and then click Remove Data. Next we can see the current lockouts, and it'll show it per hosts and per users. We currently have no data available on that at the moment, which means that no one's tried to gain access to our website unwarranted. We don't have any data on that at the moment, which means no one has tried to gain any unwarranted access to our website, or at least not that we're aware of. Just below this we can see the 404 errors. So anytime there's a 404 error found, it'll be logged here. So it'll let you know the user, the host, and the referrer, assuming they were referred from a place, and it will also show how many times they ran into that 404. Next we can see the bad login attempts. All it shows you here is the username that the person tried to log into your website with. And this can give you a good idea if someone's trying to hack the admin account, if you, for whatever reason, still happen to have one of those, or any other user account in fact. Then you can see all lockouts. So any lockouts you have will be logged here. And then just below this we get to the changed files. You can see the last time that it took a scan of all of the files in WordPress installation was the 29th of January at 7:15 PM UTC. It's got 3,137 files in there at the moment that it's keeping track of, and to do that process it used 20 megabytes of memory, which isn't really a great deal. You should have a great deal more than that on your hosting. However, the more files you have, the more memory it will take, and the longer it will take to store that as well. And you can see that it also keeps a hash. So without getting into the details of what a hash is, what happens then is, if it detects that a file has been changed or modified in any way, the actual hash will change. So when the plugin goes back through your files and integrity checks them to see if they've changed whatsoever, it will make sure the hashes match up, and if they don't, then that's when you know that something might be going quite astray. But for the most case it's generally okay, and most of these dates and times probably won't change because they are the core of WordPress, at least for some of them anyway. Finally, we just come to files removed and files modified. So if there are any files removed or files modified, those entries will be updated there. So what I've done now is I've just gone down at the bottom and clicked View Logs. And you can see here we've got two items in the changed files area. We don't have a lot of detail on what they are now, so what we're going to do is click View Details. We scroll down a little bit and we can see that the changes were made to htaccess and wp-config.php. So if you'd like, you can now go and check those files on your website to see if there's anything in there that shouldn't be there. But in the most case, if you see these files being edited, it's probably the plugin. However, if you haven't made any changes to your Better WP Security configuration of late, then it may be suggesting that someone else has come along and made changes. So that brings us to the end of this video. If you have any questions on security and how Better WP Security takes care of logging any changes that are made onto your website, please ask in the comments below.